And hello, everybody. These are Colin's hands and Poker One's hands, and I think they're from years ago. This is actually the only auction I asked him about, and I said nobody bids three. I assumed they were Apple auctions because he was playing his bridge years ago in the London clubs. Uh, used to make his living playing Robert Bridge, and I said, nobody bids three diamonds. And he said, well, that was the auction at the time, Alan. So I thought, have I got to go through all these and all that? No, I can't do it. So I left all the auctions the same. And indeed, he was right. Nobody would bid three diamonds these days, but that was what they did at the time. Um, Even if you play two over one, I imagine you're playing inverted minors, and after one diamond, you might be two diamonds. And in modern Macol, three diamonds shows a preemptive raise with length in the diamonds and lots of distribution. Not a strong 4-3-3. But let's get on with the play. The lead against a three-to trump is the five of spades. And this is actually quite a difficult hand if you're playing match points, because there's excellent chances East has led away from the king of spades, and if so, you just duck that round, start on the diamonds, and generally make yourself an overtrip. And against that, if you're playing for imps teams matches, there's a danger that if the king of spades is wrong, then they will win and switch to your really weak suit, which is of course the heart suit. So should we? Sorry, I got noise going through. Okay. So the thing to consider then is, should we rise with the ace in case they're going to, if the king is wrong, they're going to, because people don't always switch to spades. They win the king of spades and play a spade back. So it really is very tempting in match points. But if I win the ace, can I deal with everything? Because the last thing I want is West getting in, and East did have the king and jack of spades, and how awful for West to win and plays a spade back through my queen to the king and the jack. So obviously everything is going to center on the diamond suit. I will have one spade if I rise with the ace, another one in hearts, three in clubs. So I've got to bring in four more diamond tricks. So I'm always going to do this if diamonds are breaking um, 3-1 or 2-2. So really, I have to go and consider what to do if somebody's got a four-card diamond suit. If East has them, well, if East has Queen Jack to 4, I'm not sure there's much I can do ever. East will get in, and if they switch to hearts, I'm going to be in real trouble. But if West has them, I've actually got the cards to pick up the whole suit. If you look at what I own, the Ace, King, 10, 7, each one of those cards can beat one of the missing cards. The Ace, the Queen, the King for the Jack, the 10 for the 8, and the 7 for the 5. So what I would have to go and do is play a safety play, because of course by not cashing ace and king and finding that they're 2-2 and making overtricks, if I go and finesse in the diamond suit, then I can, if I have to, pick up the whole suit and not. And of course, the big thing is not to let West in case West can lead a spade through to the jack on the other side. So because it's absolutely safe, it's definitely right to go and play the ace here rather than risk the king of spades and the heart switch. And don't forget, I need to learn whether West has these cards. So I've got to use, I shouldn't play to the 10 because then I've missed my chance to finesse with the 7. I must lead the 9 to discover whether the diamonds are if that's covered with the jack. I learned that they're all breaking, and now I can use the entries, the club's entries, to keep on taking finesses. Whereas, of course, if they decide not to cover and just play small, and am I going to play for the overtricks? No, no, I'm going to take my safety play. Again, I've learned about the break on the left-hand side, so I can just repeat all the diamond finesses. So let me just show you that I really can win all of them. If they cover, I learn about the bad break, so I cross over to the Queen of Clubs, and now it doesn't matter what I lead. If he puts the 5 in, I win with the 7, and cross over on yet another club, and you can see I've got another tennis position over here to bring the whole suit in. So I've got 3 more tricks, and I would play this out in real life because it's possible I could make a trick with the Queen of Spades if things go my way. I might be able to. I mean, I'm going to catch the ace of clubs, the king of spades, and then maybe I can exit with the heart, and somebody has to go and give me a trick with the queen of spades. But that's not actually going to happen, so I'll just claim my 3 tricks at this point. It's hard to believe this is a real hand, actually, because it's so perfect, the diamond distribution, where if West has the queen, the jack, the 8, and the 5, you just have the cards to pick up every single one of them, make sure that West never gets in to lead through the spade. If West's spade diamonds are a little bit stronger, like ace, king, 9 or something, then West could guarantee an entry. And now ducking the spade is quite a risky thing. Um, Here it works because West did have the king of spades, but it's quite possible that you lose a diamond to West and he just plays a spade back through your queen. So you need to look at all these cards here about whether you can always make sure that West never gets in. And miraculously, you can. Ace beats the queen, king beats the jack, 10 beats the 8, and your magic 7 beats the 5. So you can make absolutely sure that if you do lose a trick, it is to East. And of course, if you lose a trick to East, well, if he's got 4, bad news and nothing you can do about it. But if you lose a trick after West follows, then the diamonds are broken and you're making your contract anyway. So those of you who duck the first trick, well, commiserations, especially if you're playing match points. My opinion is it's almost certainly the right thing to do, but not on this hand. No, don't be shy. You're all paying too much match points, aren't you? But never actually go. Yes, they do, Sandra, they do. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next hand because I see no comments or questions. Okay, so 2 clubs it says. Pass, 2 diamonds, pass, 4 no trumps. So I seem to recall I've only ever had such a hand once. It showed 27-28. And my partner had a Yarborough and bid on to 6, and I went down, and he was so apologetic. 6 no trump. He was the owner of the bridge club, and he wanted to rush off and collect all the money. So he bid something to get me to play the contract, and then hurried away, leaving me. Yes. There we go. These are Colin's hands, though, not mine. So the lead is fairly natural. For some people, 10 of hearts, I lead the 9 because But of course, I play, as I told you before, strong tens, and that would show a totally different distribution. So I'd be beating second highest, but never mind. This presumably was not only the bidding, but the lead at the actual table. We look around and we find, well, okay, they've got the ace of hearts. I'm going to make certainly 2 hearts, 3 spades for 5, 3 clubs for 8, and all I need is to bring in the diamonds. So the diamonds are probably 3-2, and this is an excellent contract, therefore. I I'm only going to, I can only go down if diamonds are 4-1 or 5-0. So is this one of these random things? I just cash the king queen, and if north shows out, I can finesse the ace and the 10. Well, not necessarily. If north has, which is the missing cards, the key ones are the jack and the 9 of diamonds. If north has jack and 9 of diamonds, and I know about it, I can still pick them up because I've got the 2 cards required, the king and the queen of diamonds, enough to beat the jack and the 9. The king will beat the jack, the queen will beat the 9, and I will have the 8 and the ace, or the 10 and the ace. So I can pick it up either way, and I need to find out which is the right thing to do. Should I play off King, Queen of Diamonds and see whether South turns up with 4 diamonds, or should I play off King of Diamonds? No, can't play King. If North has them, I have to play off just the Ace of Diamonds, and then I have to finesse. And not only that, I've got to finesse twice, I see. So not as easy as I thought. I've got to play Ace of Diamonds and finesse, but I've got to leave myself some way to go back to dummy and then finesse again. So I have to leave a winning card in dummy in case, as long as I can, in case it's North who's got the 4 diamonds. Anyway, let's see what they do. Okay, that's fine. Do I want an entry? I don't know, really. Doesn't hurt to keep entries, I suppose. And pays back to 2. Okay. Okay. Well, the way to find out what people have is to play off your side suits and learn what everybody has in the different suits. I don't find this straightforward. The ace and the 2 of hearts, is that from a 4-card suit? And South led from a 3-card heart? No, would he need the 10 from 10, 9, 10, 9, 5? I don't think so. I'm inclined. Well, certainly I want to play off the spade suit and learn what people have there. Let's do that while I mark time and think a little bit. So now another one. And well, I do learn something. So South has got 5 in the spade suit. Okay, well, I can cash the ace king. That's still with entries. And let's do another one. Okay, everybody's got clubs. Now, which suit do I want to find out about? I've got to leave one of those in it as an entry to dummy in case. I think I'd like to learn about the heart suit. Because I want to know whether South end from a 3-card suit or from a 5-card suit, which seems to be the 2 options. So I'm going to cash my last suit finding out things, and I do learn something again. I learned that South started with 5 hearts, because North has shown out, with 5 spades, because South has shown out, and so, he follows the 2 clubs as well. Actually, I know I know 12 of South's cards. He's got 5, 5, 1, and a doubleton, maybe even none, and 3 clubs. But certainly, if anybody's got 4, it not only might be North, it has to be North. There's not enough room for South to have a doubleton diamond. So, in fact, I know what the diamond is. It might be the Jack or the 9. So, I'm going to cash the ace first to find out whether it is the Jack or the 9. And it isn't. Okay, so deep breath here. I know that you encourage him, because if he puts the Jack up, that will resolve on no. Oh, come on. I believe in myself. He's got 4. So I'm going to finesse because he has to have them. And now, and if he had covered, you can see I've got the remaining tricks here. Notice I've kept an entry to dummy. So if he had covered with the Jack, I win with the Queen. And I've kept this entry back to dummy so that I could repeat the finesse and pick up all the 2 diamonds. So I'm claiming 2 tricks and making my contract. And this is a very standard sort of hand. They don't occur very often. But when they do, they're easy to identify. You have 1 suit that you must play for a certain number of tricks. And if they're breaking the normal way, you're going to make a contract. So you ask yourself, what if they're not? And if you can pick them up in either direction, it is then fairly standard that you just try and play up all the side suits as far as you can to discover what the opponent's distribution is. Normally, you find you're wasting your time. That's because normally diamonds break 3-2, and you wasted several minutes playing up all the side suits for no benefit whatsoever. But every now and again, you learn that a certain player is more likely to have 4 than the other player, or is, as in this case, absolutely certain to have 4. And so all this exploratory work allows you to make the contract, which if you didn't know about it, you probably would have just played King Queen and said, oh, unlucky, North has 4 diamonds, I can't take the finesse of the ace 10. But you can discover that by, it's called actually a discovery play. Can North foresee that a club god is okay? I don't see. Let's see. When the suit was played, the ace king of clubs was cashed. I think so, Jack. Presumably, when the ace king of clubs was played, South played the 8 and then the 4 to give partner a count. That would be normal play. So South either has a doubleton or has 4. Now South has 4. 4, that's just possible, yeah. Then East is out of hearts, and so there's no point keeping any clubs. And if South has a doubleton, then East has the last heart, and the Queen of clubs is a winner. So I see, assuming South has given an honest count here and played the 8 and the 4, which is normal to help partner out, there's absolutely no point really now in keeping the clubs, especially with a visible 4-card suit on view in the West End. So obviously you are covering something serious here, and you cannot really expect East to be looking at 2 small clubs. What, the partner's got the Jack to 3 and missignaled? No. So I think you can see that a diamond is going to be faithful and a club is no use whatsoever. Okay, Jay? Okay. I look for more questions. I see no more questions. I move on to the next. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15. So we're all over this one no trump, playing modern methods, and playing a weak no trump, of course, you have to open your forecast suit 1 diamond, and we're back in the 1970s in the rubber bridge rooms. I don't know where college, I don't know the name of the club, I must ask him where he used to play. So we had a diamond, and even in those days they had Michael, so 2 diamonds, which I did alert, but apparently my mouse didn't work on it, is 5, 5 in the majors. And they look like they're playing a sophisticated response system here. Certainly the system I play is that if I bid their suits, the lower suit corresponds to the lower of the unbid suit. So 2 hearts being the lower of hearts and spades would correspond to saying, I've got clubs. And bidding their suit is always stronger than if you actually just bid the suit directly. So bidding 3 clubs would show much the same hand, but probably not force it to gain. I don't know, it might be forcing for 1 round only, but probably not even totally forcing. If you wanted to force, you'd bid 2 hearts. And 2 spades will show a strong raise in diamonds because it's the higher of their suits, so it corresponds to the higher of the unbid suits. And therefore be showing a sort of strong raise in diamonds, probably force it to gain. And then the direct bids are effectively non-forcing. Obviously, to bid 3 clubs, you'd have to have the values to do it, but it's not as strong as a 2-heart bid. And that's what I play with, well, most of my partners, not just Colin. So I think it's a common. I know there are other systems. I've heard Colin tell me about a different version, but you need to agree this with your particular partner about when they show, because there's more than just Michaels, there's also guest and bids as well. You should have a system in place about what does it mean when I Q-bid one of their suits. You've got a choice of suits, you need to know what it means with your partner. Anyway, South with his 15 count and the strong raise in clubs is happy with the Doubleton stop in hearts to have a go at 3 no trumps. Very wise, I approve. So let's see what the lead is, and amazingly is the Queen of Spades from the excellent Bucknuts. Okay, so I seem to have 2 spades. I don't expect the heart suit to have a successful finesse. 1 heart, that's 3, and 2 diamonds and 2 clubs. Okay, so I need 2 more tricks. So that means I've got some latitude in playing the club suits. I don't have to play King of Clubs, finesse the Jack, and hope the Queen is on the left and find that everything's breaking, etc., etc. I can do clever things like duck a club entirely or whatever. So, well, what clever things are there? Well, if the South had the 9 of clubs, there's a standard safety play where you cash the ace of clubs and then finesse the king 9. Because if everybody follows, if the 9 just loses, then the suit is broken and you're going to bring the club suit in. And if East has the king, the Queen, Jack of clubs, would it be? No, Queen 10 of clubs, then the finesse would work. And again, I've gained a tempo and a trick by putting the 9 in. And so again, I brought the club suit in and I'm going to be okay. And if East West has got 4, I cashed the ace of clubs earlier, but as East now shows out, I totally change my mind. I rise with the King of Clubs and lead my 9 back towards the Jack, because now I'm going to play through West Queen of clubs and bring the suit in. The sad part of all this story, of course, is that I don't own the 9 of clubs to do this standard safety play. But for all that, there is a chance that I might be able to do it anyway, because after all, I'm worried about 4-1 breaks. If the clubs are going to be 3-2, I can almost do anything I want to bring this contract home. If indeed there is a singleton, by playing the ace, as I just described, with this safety play, if West drops the 9 or the 10 or the queen, so that that's one of these 3 cards out of the way, then I'll be in the same position as if I did have the king and the 9. I would still have this sort of finesse position against a Doubleton honor in the East hand. So I think that's the thing to do. In that case, do I get on and win the ace? Well, there are problems playing the clubs this way. I'm going to finesse the 8 of clubs, cash the king. I need to be able to get back and continue playing the clubs or cashing the clubs. It seems clear to me that I should win the first spade in hand so that I have loads of entries to get back and cash the clubs if and when I set them up. So remember, the line of play is first of all the ace, and we need, excellent, is one of them has dropped. So if they're, he could still be messing me around, of course, with Queen 10-9, but I reckon I should do the, now, if it's the 10 here, no problem, because I can move with the king, and I can now run the 8 around to the queen to set up the suit. Best play, of course, is to duck, but I've left myself loads of entries to get over there and continue playing the club. That's why I left all these entries, to make sure that I could actually achieve this this play. So everything's going to be fine now, because I've still got the ace of hearts and the king of diamonds and the ace of spades and the jack. So I've 5 tricks already. You could see that I'm going to make my 9 tricks. Who knows? Maybe I can do some sort of throw-in on the west hand, and I'm sure the king of hearts is with the 5-5 hand, so I'm not inclined to take the heart finesse. But any sort of end play, I will be looking to find it. I don't think there is one, but I would still be looking. How far do I have to go back? I think I should reload. Let's claim. Shall I? Sanya loves to have me claim. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, Sanya. I'm sorry. I just claimed 9 tricks. Okay. What was the 2 heartbeat? Oh, don't you play Geston? Sorry, Michaels. The 2 heartbeat. That's the lower of their suits, Glynis. Right. Okay. Did you ask earlier because I said this earlier? They have shown 2 suits, and you can, yeah, okay. I tend not to look until I finish the whole discussion. Sorry. Okay, let's put it up again. Show export to the table. So it is a contract of a 3-note drop myself, and the lead is there for the 5-5 hand. I say best, I'm sure, is to win here. And what I didn't discuss is whether they could do anything different. And if you look at it, actually, they have no option. They either split this Queen 10, or if you put the 7 in, well, you're going to play the king, the 8 as this finesse. If that loses, the clubs are broken. You've got no problem now with the contract, so you're away. And when it doesn't, well, it follows now much the same sort of line as before. You're going to play the king of clubs. you've still got to get back and establish the suit, but we left ourselves with two entries, the ace of spades and the ace of diamonds. So we're able to go back, continue playing the clubs, and set up the last trick we're looking for. So at this point over here, when we leave this 2, there's really nothing that East can do to prevent us making, as long as we're prepared to take this safety play of the 8. I suppose I do this even in match points. When there's 5-5, there's such a big chance that West has a singleton, and he did drop the 9. So I suppose if I had more controls in spades, I'd be willing to play the king in case West had doubleton queen 9. But no way am I doing that if any, even at match point scoring. That's a huge risk to take when all you've got is a single space stop. So this point over here, was there anything else we could do to make this? And the answer is, well, yes and no. If I did think, I wonder if we can make this by some sort of end play on the West hand. So if you do that, you'd actually presumably start by ducking a spade, and then another one. And the answer is yes, you can, but you've got to be incredibly careful with exactly what cards you play. So I'm trying to remember I know I can cheat and look at this isn't a silly thing to do. I mean, the sort of thing you want to try and do is you can no longer throw West in with a spade, so you're not going to, but you might be able to. I don't know really. I mean, I don't find this clear cut at all. I do know when I looked at it. Let me just have a look at show double dummy. It says there are indeed ways of making it by basically playing off your cards, and I see them mainly relies on throwing East in to lead away from the Queen of Clubs, or forcing him to throw a diamond away, and then you duck a diamond and make an additional trick in the diamond suit. It can be done, but it was, for instance, one of the cards was the 2 of clubs, and you have to play the king. You go down if you finesse the 8 and lose to the 9. And then you must play the king of spades. You know what I mean about you've got to follow an esoteric line, which I don't find clear at all. I can kind of see what we're trying to do. We're cutting off the West hand, and we're trying to put East in difficulty, keeping those long diamonds and those long clubs. But this is not a route that I recommend. But I saw some of you try it. So my advice is learn your safety plays. And in fact, it's hard because the standard safety play is king 9 of clubs. That's when you cash the ace, finesse the 9, and it's guaranteed. This one is slightly, you've got to see it, I think, that if you cash the ace, you might drop the queen, the 10, or the 9, and then the safety play is going to work for you. So I think it's a level harder than just learn your safety plays. But knowing your safety plays really does help in these situations. What about playing West 95? I said play a 3 winning minors and then putting. How did I put West in? Did I win the first spade, Jack? My problem is putting West into. Right, I win the first spade, but if I go back to the start, if I win the first spade, so I can try and exit on a spade for you, you'll notice that. There we go. So this is where I would win the first spade and the second, and exit on the spade. Unfortunately, West can make sure his partner wins it. And okay, he doesn't even have to unblock Jack. I win the ace, I win the king, I exit on my 7 of spades, and West plays the 6 of spades, and East wins with the 8 or the 9. And then the heart comes through, and now I'm dead. So, this is not an easy. It said it does work, but it's not something I would. Well, not if I know my safety plays. Not something I would actually try. They say when I followed it through using the double dummy analyzer, I kept being surprised about, well, obvious. I thought it was still obvious to play the ace of clubs, but maybe not. I didn't find it obvious to catch the king of spades at all. And yet that's what you have to do to make these end plays work. So it's a bit esoteric. The route I showed you is much more natural. Cash the ace, hope, because there's only 5 clubs missing. There's a good chance, if there is a singleton, it's the queen, 10 or 9, and then fall back on and who knows? Every now and again, it's a singleton diamond and a doubleton club, and you're always making the contract. Well, that's board 3. Board 4. Okay, so 1 no trump, a preempt of 3 spades, and a confident bid of 6 no trump. Again, they're obviously playing Akol, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 12. The 5 card 6, so we'd be opening a diamond in 2 of 1. So a weak no trump, a preemptive raise, and I have a lot of points over here, partner and the spade stop. The lead is the king of spades, and yet again, if you count the tricks we have, we've got 3 hearts, 3 clubs, ace of spades for 7. So all I have to do is bring in the diamond suit, and I have no problems making my contract. And at the stage I'm at, those of you know about vacant spaces know that you have a very high chance that South has the Queen of Diamonds. Because North has 7 known cards, the 7 spaces, South has 1. Well, I think it's 7. It was a preempt. So South has 12 unknown cards and North has 6. So you've got odds of 2 to 1 that South has the Queen of Diamonds. But just as in the last time I said to you, you know, what we've got to do is bring in this 1 suit and then we make our contract. The way to up your chances is to cash all the side suits, to learn as much as you can before making your final decision, as much as you can about the distribution. So, well, I'd like to learn that West North might have a 6-card spade suit, so if I duck, I will learn for sure, and it doesn't cost to duck. So I will to so Queen. Okay, now I'm definitely going to win, of course, and South discards. I'm not sure their discard system is a club. Okay, so it was a 7-card spacesuit. Now, what I'm going to do is cash my heart out. Do I need to leave an entry? No, I can finesse the King Jack of Diamonds if I have to. I can finesse the Ace 10 of Diamonds if I have to. So this time I can just cash all my rounded suit winners to try and find out more about the distribution. I don't see the order matters, so and I don't even see it matters where I end up. So I'm in dummy at the moment, so let's cash the heart suit first. Okay, so heart, and the heart, and well. So so it was 5 hearts in the south hand, 2 in the north. Even more cards known about the north hand. Now let's check out the club suit. So club to the ace. And now a bit of a surprise, because when I played the club suit, I discovered that North has only got one club. He's just going to throw away. So actually, North, who seemed to be unlikely to have the Queen of Diamonds, has 7 spades, has 2 hearts for 9, has 1 club for 10. In fact, it's North who's got the length in the diamonds. It totally against what I initially expected, because of course that was based on vacant spaces, which is on the information at that moment about the now. I learn a lot more about the distribution, and I discover 100% that North has exactly 3 diamonds. He's got 7 spades, 2 hearts. Well, he must have exactly 3 diamonds. So I'm home. I need to cash the ace to make sure that South Singleton isn't the queen. Do I have to unblock? No, I don't think so. The 9 go, right? I'm going to be happy playing the 2. And I would have unblocked the 9 if I had to. And now I'm going to finesse, because I'm absolutely sure that he's got there. And now I'm going to drop his queen. And now I'm going to play across and take my last 2 tricks. So again, very standard in this sort of hand. All that matters is bringing in this 1 key suit. I thought I knew what to do from the very start, but it doesn't hurt to cash every other suit before making the final decision. And this time, it completely reversed my knowledge about the situation. When I began, there were a huge number of cards known in the North Hand, but then it turned out I knew or could find out that South had a huge number of cards I knew about as well. So by the time he turns up with 6 clubs and 5 hearts and a spade, I now know that it's actually the Queen of Diamonds in the North Hand. Could you fool North by? I don't see how, because I'm not really bothering about the individual cards, Terry. I'm concentrating on how many cards people have. So I played the hearts to discover how many each person had. I played this Dr. Spade and won the ace for the same reason. And then so once I've done all that, I don't know what North cards are, but I know there's 3 of them. So North can play the 7 and then the 3, or the 3 and then the 7, but I know North has got 3 diamonds because there's only 13 cards. Everybody has to have 13 cards. So no, once I know North has 3 cards, I'm always going to. I don't. I mean, let's try it out for you, shall we? So export to the table. So it was a contract of 6 no trumps at the end of the day. And it was a lead which we duck to get our first count. And another. Then we start playing off winners. It was ace of hearts. Right, and another heart. Okay, do you want me to throw the diamond at this point? No, okay. Right. Now I start playing off the clubs. Okay. And this point? No, okay. So at this point, I now know that North has 2 hearts because he showed out. I know that he started with 7 spades. He started therefore with 3 diamonds. I now know that North is down to 2 diamonds because he's got 7 spades, 2 hearts, 1 club, and he's thrown a diamond. So I now know that North is down to 2 diamonds. Okay, So, in fact, I don't really have to do the rest. Now I know that North has two. I could just do them in almost any order that I like, really. I know that North has two more diamonds, so I'm just going to play and again. You're welcome. Okay, let's move on to board 5. So another Ackle sequence, obviously. One no trump is the obvious opening for the North End. As it is, he's shown 15 to 17 with the diamond suit, and South has elected to bid 4 spades. I'm not sure that's right. These sort of hands with long, strong spade suits often make 3 no trumps as well. With partner bidding the diamonds and having a stop here, I personally would have bid 3 spades, telling partners to choose whether he wants to go to 4 spades or play it in 3 no trumps. How does 3 no trumps play? If they find a club lead, they take 4 clubs. Yeah, so 3 no trumps will be fine. And I see if either clubs are 5-0, I'm probably all right. I mean, it depends exactly what East leads, but these sort of hands you can often block the suit when you have a 9 in one hand and a king in the other. So I would be happy with offering the spades rather than insisting I'm going to play in a 4-spade contract. But still, that's the bidding. Let's move on to the play. The lead is the 4 spades, so trump killer. And I can see the problem on this hand. Like, I've obviously got loads of tricks. I've got 6 spade tricks and 2 heart tricks for 8. And I've got loads of tricks in the diamonds, even if the king of diamonds is wrong. I can use the diamonds to go through all the clubs. The trouble with the diamonds is that if East does have the king of diamonds and gets in, and if the ace of clubs is in the west hand, then a club finesse is going to take 3 club tricks off me before I get my diamonds going to go and throw everything away. So, so there's 2 lines you can take here. One of them is really very strong and going to work almost 100% of the time. But I watched Pat play this, and I thought she was quite clever. So let me follow through. Let's draw trumps, of course. I think that's 1, is it? Lovely. All right, let's play the ace. Everybody follows. Go to either hand. Okay. She reasoned that if the king of diamonds is with west, she can just play on the diamond. She doesn't have to take a finesse because west won't be able to play the clubs. So she thought, well, if I leave the 9 of diamonds, maybe East will be asleep. And if East is asleep, then I snuck through my diamond, and now I can do exactly what I wanted to do, which is take roughing finesses against the. And this is exactly what happened. East, sad to say, was asleep. East did fail to notice that, and I think really, I'm not quite sure. People don't leave 9s from ace, queen, jack, 9 unless they have the 10 or unless they're void. Now, there's a case for ducking it if you think that South is void. He might be void, I suppose. Then by play, but if South's void, he's always going to take a roughing finesse anyway. And how do you set this contract if he's void? We need to play the club story. It must be right, surely, to play the king and try and play on clubs and hope partner has a strong club holding, as partner does have, and brings it in. So, excellent try, Pat, if I may say so, but you missed an even better try. So let's go back and I'll tell you okay, so, yeah. When I do these on do's, my screen is covered in yellow and I can't see anything. Right, okay. I'm not sure if I've done this right, actually. Can I go back? Because I think for the better try, I actually want to leave entries in it. Okay, here's the idea. I want to go and take a roughing finesse against East, so that if the king comes up, I can trumpet and stop East getting the lead. And if it loses, because West has the king, that's fine. I protected my king of clubs. But you'll notice there's a problem at the moment. I can't take roughing finesses as long as I have two diamonds. I need one diamond opposite the ace, and then when I lead the queen, if only I'd started with one diamond, I will be able to take a proper, honest roughing finesse. Can I achieve getting rid of one of my diamonds? And, well, I'm not sure I can guarantee it, but there's an excellent chance that I can by playing a heart and taking a finesse, which, of course, I expect to lose. It does lose. So, the spade comes back. And now I am going to cross to the king of hearts. Now, which entry shall I use? I'm going to use that ace of hearts to bring about this roughing finesse position. I can cross in the diamonds. Okay. Cross, they're all solid. Cross in the diamonds and play the ace. And use the ace of hearts to throw it away. And now I've achieved my roughing finesse position. So I lead the queen of diamonds knowing that if West wins it, because West has the king, I've set the diamonds up for discards and protected my king. If East tries to fool me, I just start throwing my clubs away, no problem. And if it's covered, as is likely, I suppose, go when yellow notices. Okay, if it's covered, well, do I rough it? I don't know what to rough it with. Right, okay, there, and I can cross back to dummy, and yay, I'm making an overtrick. I've got two winners here, and so I can throw away two of my clubs, and I'm going to lose the king of clubs, but I can claim two more tricks. So that's a nice piece of sleight of hand. Again, it's standard if you've seen this sort of thing before, but I suspect, I mean, this isn't something I've just thought of. I played through loads of the Rich Master hands, and this will be on it somewhere, trust me. The idea is, if only I could do a roughing finesse, I would be absolutely safe. Can I throw away a diamond? Yes, by taking this sort of weird finesse, which I'm almost certain is going to lose, but I use it to create a discard to create my roughing finesse. Yes, it fails if West has the Queen Jack of Hearts. If East has the East. Yes, if East has, that's right. Because if East puts the Jack in and then East, it's always East who's going to win. But then, yeah, okay. So interesting, actually. If East had managed to put the Queen, why would East put the Queen of Hearts? Would East put the Queen of Hearts in? I wouldn't be sure whether I've got this play or not. But who, when the three of hearts is led from dummy, plays the queen? I don't think anybody's going to actually. So it's worth a try. As Colin says, are you on the Zoom call? Can't see you. Oh, there you are. Oh, yeah, oh, good. You unmuted yourself, so you. Okay, okay. I'm telling everybody some rubber bridge handles from your youth when you were a young lad. Where did you play that? I'm right, aren't they? They're rubber bridge handles. Just yeah, because they haven't taken the space. Do you remember the bring it back up again, export to the table, and it was four hearts. Sorry, four spades by the south. Pass. They took out one of my entries, and they started on this subtle line of play. And now a diamond back, as you suggest. Oh, I seem to have won. Let's try the jack. Okay. If we play a diamond back, it does take out one of my entries, but leaves the additional spade entry, as Colin said. So I'm still okay to. All right. And here I am, ready to take my roughing finesse. Oh, sorry. Yes, I haven't thrown the. Oh. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, guys, letting you down again. Yes, okay. Now I've got my roughing for this position. Okay, because I got the Jack of Spades as an entry to get back in cresting. Oh dear. I'll show you how to do it, he said, cracking down. Okay, well, I'll play one more time. I've got 11 tricks here. So, tricks. And move on to board number 6. Why not take, oh, have I moved on yet? No. Why not take the ace, king of hearts? Um, well, I go king of hearts, ace of the 10. East will surely play the queen of hearts here. Terry? King? King of hearts, ace of hearts. Then the 10 of hearts. East will play the queen. And the one person I cannot afford to. Okay, right. Number 6. Export to the table. Spades, east, 5 clubs, which I think I would do. And go to my partner is alright with 6 spades, actually. 5 spades, 6 clubs. Nobody knows what's going on here at all, I suspect. And 6 spades from my partner's sacrifice against. And so now I'm going to sacrifice. Yeah, right. Okay, here we go. Pass. And the lead is the Ace of Clubs. After many adventures in the high levels of bridge, I am almost certainly going to rough that. It feels wrong to discard something. And the natural line is to draw 2 rounds of trumps, because probably trumps break 2-1. And my bit awkward, my diamonds are blocked. But I can take king, queen of diamonds, and well, trumps are broken. I've got another entry with a 2 of spades to the 3. So I'm thinking at the moment taking 2 rounds of spades, ace, king king, queen of diamonds, cross back with the 2 to the 3, and then ace of diamonds and run the diamonds. Okay, that looks excellent. Can I improve it? Well, I can't see any problems if things are as I just said. So let's imagine that spades aren't breaking. In fact, these sorts of auctions, people have good reason to go around bidding 5 clubs and so on. So not that unlikely that spades are breaking 3-1. So the line I just said, I'm going to draw 2 rounds of trumps, then the king, queen of diamonds. Well, now I can't cross back anymore because somebody will still have the queen of spades. So that isn't going to work for me to draw 2 rounds of trumps and then try and unblock the king, queen of diamonds. So can I do anything different? Well, funnily enough, normally, we go out of our way to avoid people roughing our winners. But if I start playing the diamonds early, and if the and the diamond gets roughed, strangely that profits me because no longer are the spades breaking 3-0. One of them has gone, and somebody may have 2 spades left. So suddenly I will be back to having ace of spades as an entry, king of spades as an entry, and the 3 of spades as an entry, providing I'm careful. So in case spades are 3-0, I'm absolutely sure that I should rock with any of these cards except the 2 of spades to keep that as an entry. And now I don't think I should play spades straight away in case they are 3-0. I should try and get these blocked cards out of the way and indeed even invite somebody, if the diamonds aren't breaking as well, to rough it. Can you see that if North roughs it, I have indeed gained complete control of the situation? I've kept this additional entry. So suppose he plays back, I don't know, a heart. Look at these hearts. I can draw the trumps. And I think that's what I know. Yes, yes, everything's fine. See how I managed effectively to shorten his North's trumps. And so I can still rough the diamonds out. And rough, not the 2 of spades. And then rough a diamond. Did that not win? What happened? Oh, I roughed it to it. I'm so sorry. Undo. Cashing my ace of diamonds. Right, okay. Right, now I rough the diamonds out. Ooh, I hate being in charge of all the hands. Cross back with this carefully preserved card. And now I'm in position to use the last 2 diamonds to throw them away. So, could North have done better, maybe, by not roughing? And he did shorten his trumps, and the yellow notice is going to in here. So, where am I? There. Sorry about this. Let's say because the screen is covered in yellow, I can't really see what's going on. Okay, so we've just seen that if North goes and roughs with the 4, he shorts his trumps and leaves me in command of the situation. So suppose North doesn't and hangs on to his thing. So again, keeping that 2, it might be useful. I'm expecting just to be able to draw the trumps at this stage. I leave the jack, and I discover that trumps aren't breaking. But I actually have still enough entries here to to play the same forcing game on North. I'm still going to use my diamonds to force out one of his trumps and effectively gain an extra entry to the West Hand. So it doesn't matter whether I rough a diamond first or cash the ace of diamonds first. Let's do it by roughing. He'll throw one away. Again, keep that useful too. Right, cross over to the North Hand with the ace. And now I just start playing my winning diamonds through the North Hand. And sooner or later he will get bored of watching me throw away all my cards. But if he roughs in, it doesn't make any difference. I have kept that two of spades as a re-entry to the dummy, so I will use those diamonds to throw away the last two hearts. So I'm going to claim again, or did I claim last time? Contract making. And it's just a matter, this I think, of playing it through in your mind about the obvious line, cash ace king, then the king queen of diamonds. Oh, that's all a little bit awkward. Suppose it works if diamonds are three, right? Can I do better? And once you see that if he roughs one of your diamonds, it improves your entry situation no end, it should become easy to then work out that, well, let's cash the king queen of diamonds. At least once those out of the way, I can use the ace king and play those diamonds from the dummy. That must be a better line than playing a trump at trick two. Playing a trump at trick two basically assumes that everything is breaking, but they did bid 5 clubs and 6 clubs. Is everything breaking? I think not. One last thing, on this auction, I don't know, there it is, there's the auction. No, does it share? No, because I've claimed. Okay, I'll do it again. It's always helpful to see things. Okay, so this was a 4 spades, 5 clubs, 5 spades, 6 clubs, 6 spades auction. Yeah, no problem. Here's my question for you. What would you lead from the south hand? And my instincts here are not to lead a club. South has opened this giant spade bid and then continued on to the 6th level when partner may have a strong hand, partner might have 2 aces. So it's quite a big position for East to go and take if East is not void in the club suit. And with partner being willing to go to the 6th level, I would be thinking, well, even if I've got a winner with the ace of clubs, I won't have 2 winners. I will be looking for them elsewhere. Now, it would be nice to cash the ace of clubs and then decide whether to switch to diamonds or hearts, but personally, I would be leading one of the red suits. And because a heart needs less from partner than leading a diamond, my own choice of lead here would be, in real life, the 5 of hearts. And the 5 of hearts does set the contract because you still have to sort of follow the same, let's catch the diamonds first, but of course, now North roughs in and cashes heart tricks to set the contract. But as I say, loads of people I see, they don't listen to the auction and they see this giant club. I've seen people with 7 card club suits whose partners raised, still they try and cash the ace of clubs, and it's roughed, and now it's too late to attack the suit they should attack. So when you suspect that really they're going to rough it, do think about looking for your tricks elsewhere before you hand the ability to dictate the contract to declare. Who would open for us? Good question. Not me, I have to say. Colin, would you own four spades? These days, of course, it was you at the time, right? Ah, yeah. I must say, I always describe these bids as, well, I've got a good spade suit, but not much outside. Well, I'm sorry, if I bid it, expect a good spade suit and not that much outside. Moving on to board number 7, everybody. Okay. The count. These flat 4-3-3 hands are a bit difficult to tell through all that. What do you do? You've got the values again, probably. 3 no troubles. So another Apple auction, actually easy to know. These days, this is very old Apple. When I was young, usually you always show the 5-card measure, but somewhere in the 80s, Apple changed to 4-3-3-3, 4-3-3-2 is one of the balance hands. So even if it's a major, you open this hand 1 no trump. So this is almost a 2 over 1 over. It's not a modern accolade. Where is this from, Colin? Historic archives, you must be doing. 62. I prophesied there for the 1970s. So 62. Wow, okay. So yes, in those days, it was in the 80s. I'd read it was Jane Preddy popularised it, I was told. Well, I don't know. I mean, Kay will do what her mother says, I suppose. But it was certainly Jane, I think, came back and started running the British one in Bristol, and she yes, it was the 80s. Anyway, an interesting trip down memory lane. The lead is, the 7 of hearts in modern style, but who says that this is modern? Okay, so, say it again. Oh, the play is the thing. We're in to catch the conscience of the game. Okay, so I've got 2 hearts on the lead, 3 spades to 5, and I suppose if I take the diamond finesse, it wins. I have 3 diamonds against, it goes to 9, and if I take the club finesse and it wins, I'll have 4 contracts for 9, and probably play the diamonds as well. Who's got what here? South Open, North Pass. So assuming we give South the order of 11 maybe for a really awful opener. That means that North would have 3 points. So I think South definitely has the Ace of Diamonds. North may have the Queen of Diamonds, maybe not. North might just have the King of Clubs if South is open on 11. And South might have all of them, with also having the Jack of Spades. The 8 of Hearts suggests that South has got the King Jack of the Hearts. So if South has all of them, I'm going to have to finesse in the diamonds and finesse, and I'm going to lose both of them, and they will play on hearts, and I'm going to go down. So I'm not going to think like that. If I assume South has all of them, I am going to fail. So North has either the Queen of Diamonds or the King of Clubs. Which should I go for first? Well, it doesn't always work, but as I'll show you later, but the one that gives you 2 chances is to try, let's win this trick. South is count and shows Jack 10-9 of, he knows he's got his queen from the lead, so, okay. If you play the spade, the club, you've only got 8 tricks so far, 3 in clubs, 3 in spades, 2 in hearts. you must then play on the diamonds, and that will certainly allow South to get in a second time with the ace of diamonds, and you will go down. But if you play on the diamonds first, even if it loses to the queen, we can still fall back on a rather poor second chance that North has the king of clubs. Because although we've lost one trick to South, if the king of clubs is right, we can still take 4 tricks in clubs. So it's definitely right to go and play on the diamond suit first, so that if it's wrong, we can still fall back. Let's just have a look how it fails. Let's try the club first. Right, so here you go. And you see, you can duck this if you like, but South has the ace of diamonds. It makes no difference. You've only got 3 clubs, 3 spades, the 2 hearts you've taken. When you play on the diamonds, South is going to cash all those heart tricks, and you go down. So playing on clubs is a very high risk strategy, especially because it requires South to have opened with only 11 high card points. So we should therefore not have played on the clubs at all. We should have played on the diamonds. Interesting question whether you play the 10. Sometimes people duck entirely, and so it's useful to stay in hand and finesse twice straight away. Against that, if people win the first diamond, you've got plenty of entries back to hand with your ace of hearts and ace queen. You can then lead the 10 of diamonds the second time and keep hold of the lead to keep finishing through. So I'm a bit torn here. My own taste, I think, is to play. I mean, this is the least revealing to everybody. When I play like that, it reveals. Am I playing the jack because I had to? I haven't told them I got the 10, so it makes more uncertainty for the opposition, and uncertainty for the opposition is always good for you. Still, let's suppose we try to keep the lead in case they duck. In fact, I saw somebody duck, and they managed to duck twice. And the declarer now knew what to do. He got through 2 club tricks. He was pretty sure he knew where the clubs was, so he just started playing on the club suit, and he managed to bring in 3 clubs, 2 diamonds for 5, 3 spades for 8 and 2. So this declarer was making over tricks with South ducking twice. What normally happens, of course, is that you lead the 10, and normally South will win with the ace rather than and set up his heart suit. And, well, you're fairly sure now that you know where the Queen of Diamonds is, so you will finesse the diamond, at least I assume you will, and take no chances. You don't know that the diamond's going to drop finesse again, but it drops anyway, and so you've made your contract. So notice that when the club diamond wins, you're able to repeat it. You've got the ace of clubs and all these spades. You can claim your 4 contract making. 4 more tricks. 1, 2. Yes, you can claim 4 more tricks. Excellent. So I'm going to give you the same hand. Unless somebody wants to talk about this. We just like play. Okay, here's the same hand, almost. So send it to the table. Table. So this is the same hand. South, it's 1 heart, and it goes. It went pass, pass, double, pass, pass. Same as last time. Not quite the same as last time. No, I think this might be the same as last time. And once again, an old-fashioned top and nothing these, and we win. And we're going to take the diamond finesse, and this time it loses because the queen is down here. South will send his suit. Now our only chance is that South open on an 11 count, and therefore we need to finesse against the king of clubs to bring our contract in. And North has the king of clubs, so we continue. Still got suit, makes no difference. So I'm bringing it in and making the contract, because although the diamond finesse lost, I made 4 clubs, 3 spades, and 2 heart tricks. For all that, although that's the right way to play the contract, one of the North-South players can beat the contract. But how can they do it? Any guesses, anybody? They got the first trick. I'm not sure if he. What, they got the first heart. I think you just don't forget this is an alternative where the Queen of Diamonds is not in the North. So here they never dock. If you play a diamond with Ace Queen, it's a bit hard to see that they're going to dock it. They might dock it the first one, but I think once you got a diamond, you could just switch the clubs V. Because once you get 1 diamond trick, you only need 3 club tricks to make the contract. So docking should always be fatal to the defense. Well, if this was the layout, can you see how North-South defeats the contract? I'm getting no offers. Well, we're leaving the diamond. We're always going to play the 10 of diamonds, yeah? Should we play the 2, 6, or 7? No, seriously. Oh, there's an excellent chance. What you're going to do, of course, I said, of course, is realize that this 10, I said earlier, leading the 10 reveals the suit is solid and declarer is going to finish twice in that suit. Well, you certainly don't want him playing on the club suit. So win and clear your suit. And you may tell me that you are now about to go and play on the clubs, but last time, when you drove out the ace of diamonds, you all finessed in diamonds again. And this time, you go down. So this hand is a message to the South players about, you didn't actually have it to try it, but when you can see that declarer is going to take a finesse again, think about winning with the card you don't have to, with the ace here and keeping the queen. Yes, it slows down you don't have a certain trick anymore, but look for holdings like ace, jack 10, 9, or they lead the queen. They are going to finesse again. So if you go and win with the highest card and keep the finesse card lower down, you will almost certainly make the declarer go wrong because you don't believe that the finesse is right. Okay. And to say, when they got to the your table, I said a dock doesn't help at all. You've now got 1 trick in diamond. I said that. The first dime, no, the first dime. First half was done. No. I think it meant the first diamond was done. Oh no, you're right. Okay. I'm not sure that makes much difference. They're going to continue the hearts. Don't get all the finesses into the south hand, who's got the opening bid. So I can't see any advantage in docking. It's not like you are finessing into the north hand and you could run him out of hearts. Then it's sensible to dock a heart, run him out of hearts, take your finesse, and he can't lead the hearts. But here, all the finesses are going into the person who's got a long heart. So I don't see gains or losers. It's just an irrelevancy about the order in which you do things. Well, I did discuss about when you lead the 10, you tell her, because if you don't lead the 10, South isn't quite so sure you're going to repeat that finesse. Uh, it's something to think about. That when it seems obvious at the time, lead the 10, keep the lead, and so on, but it transmits other information as well. So just be careful. Okay, I'm going to look at the last thing. And it goes on the Trump, which I assume is weak. Yes. There. Two hearts transferred to spades. Again, I think in those days, that's not a good bid, Colin. Three diamonds from south, which presumably, well, I think we discussed it here. Three spades, which normally just shows any strength of the forecast spade suit, and three no trumps because he thinks he's got values in the double stop. Right, okay. So, of the things you should, first of all, of course, you shouldn't be bidding two hearts on the heat stand. You should be using Stamen in case there's a 4-4 heart fit. And if partner turns you down with two diamonds, then you can still bid two spades and play in your 5-card suit. But to transfer straight away risks finding a partner with a doubleton spade and a 4-card heart suit. So it's wrong for these to go and transfer. What the South players should have discussed with their partner is what are your methods when people are open to one their trump and there is a transfer. What does double mean? There's two meanings for double. One of them is I am strong enough that I would have doubled on their trump. And certainly that is the preferred method against weak no trump, when you quite often have a double on no trump. The other meaning, of course, is I've got the heart suit. That is less preferred by the experts. The other bit you should be thinking of is two spades, and they transfer to spades, so you're bidding their suit. That is almost universally played as strong and a take-out double. I am short in the spades. I would like you to go and choose a suit. It's a little bit risky. It would be my preference rather than bid three diamonds. Little bit risky because partner will prefer to bid heart if he's got a full card heart suit. But I don't like sort of like bid three diamonds is what I would do with a 6-card diamond suit. So I do not like. I like a bid, but I prefer two spades to, or even a double. I would have doubled on the trump. 2 or 3 diamond bid. Still, well, that's what I'm saying. Everybody here should discuss with their regular partners what is double. I say for me, playing against Apple players, it's I would have doubled on the trump. What is or does it show a 5 or 6 heart? What is two spades? It should be. I mean, there's no little else for it. That should be a takeout. And if you bid diamonds, are you showing a 6-card diamond? So all these things you should, with if you want to aspire to be a grand player, these are things you will have discussed with your regular partners. Okay, but it's a yeah. Yeah. Mm. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay, three no trumps, and the lead is the jack of spades, of course, the spade. So, okay, I got two spade tricks on the lead, two heart tricks forever, and so I need 5 more tricks. So I can take the diamond finesse, which is almost certainly wrong, because West opened the bidding, and there's not that many points missing. or I can play on the clubs. And if I play on the clubs and make 4 club tricks, I'm home. Right? I want to spade, 3, 4 in hearts, 4 club tricks for 8, and the ace of diamonds for 9. So I don't think I'm going to take the diamond finesse at all. That's surely going to lose, and they're going to set up their spade suit. Still missing, so I'm going to play on the clubs. Any problems with the clubs? Well, yes. East has got 5 or 6 spades, probably 5 because West did them as well. He may be short in the club suit, in which case, if West has length in the clubs, the king will go to the ace, the queen. I don't have the 9 and the 10, 9, or 8. So West will end up with a second club trick. And worse than that, West will end up with a tempos to win, set up the spade suit before I manage to set up my club suit. Well, is there anything I can do about that? And there is, but I suspect you need to have seen this before, because it relies on the fact that if only you can score 1 club trick, now the diamonds become a much better proposition for you. I couldn't finesse diamonds straight away because I know it's going to lose and they're going to clear the space in. But if I can only sneak 1 club trick through, then I'll have brought my 2 spades, 2 hearts, and a club up to 5. Now I can desert my beautiful club suit and go up to 6. So while playing to the king of clubs and the queen of clubs will work a lot of the time, the line that is definitely going to always work, because I know what the cards are, is to lead towards the jack of clubs, so that if West does have 4, he cannot use it to beat one of my honours. Of course, that means I've got to go and reach dummy. I don't know. Can I cross? Yes, I can. Can I cross on the heart, or do I cross on the diamond? Let me think. If I cross on the heart and I leave a club, I think they can play a heart. No, they can't. I'm fine. So I think I'll cross on the heart. I'm sorry to admire that. A diamond, or a diamond is fine as well. That's true, but it doesn't feel natural to it. Although, since I know it's wrong, why don't I play a diamond? Yeah, I know it's wrong. Okay, here I go with my clever play, everybody. The idea is to lead through the clubs, and if he rises to the ace, he's got 4 clubs. He has set up the club suit for me. I can catch the king, queen, then the jack, and I've got the last club as a winner. So at this point, I've got 2 entries. I made sure of that. They can take out one of them, but my king, queen of clubs, shall I play it for you? So they say, so that's probably what they'll do anyway. I played a club over here, and all this caution really was useful. It does have 4. Continue unblocking the thing, and now I think it's clear that I can go to the king of hearts and run 2 club tricks, and at some point take the ace of diamonds, so I can claim my contract. Now, I don't want to claim at this point because there's a question about, well, what happens if he doesn't rush up with the ace of clubs? And so here, first he just plays the 2 to see if I go wrong. Well, the jack. And if I play the clubs again, of course, West will be in charge. But that was never what I was going to do. I was just trying to sneak through 1 club trick because now I can play on the other suit. And I don't know, really, you probably win actually. And clear his suits. And now I just continue playing the diamonds. I'm going to come to 4 diamond tricks and 1 heart trick, 5 more tricks, and this time I will play because it makes Sandy so happy. So I bring it in. So this is quite a clever hand. They're not uncommon. I have done this a few times in my life. Basically, you have a source of tricks from two suits. And it looks like you have, as here, most of the time you just play king and queen of clubs, and because clubs are 3-2, you just breeze home. But if it's not 3-2, can you use the fact that you've got a second source of tricks? And to use it, you have to sneak a trick through in the suit you expect to be 3-2, and then, having got this one trick, desert the suit entirely and run to the other suit to go and bring your tricks in. And say it's not uncommon, although not always, of this ilk. 2 5-card suits. I've actually done it with 2 4-card suits. I've snuck a trick through in one and then run across to the other 4-card suit to make my contract. So just look out for it as one of your options when you're playing. Now, on this hand, you set up these 2 spaces, take out. Right, 10. It's either 2 or 3 no trumps, I think. Then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Don't know. You've also got a 5-card suit, but the Jack of Diamonds is terribly useful. I'm torn between 2 no trump and 3 no trump. I think it's going to be a value judgment whether you did. Yes, 2.5 no trump is clearly the bid. Oh yes, okay, good point. I didn't even think of it because 2 no trump wasn't the bid I was thinking of here. Um, Playing with lame song around the frequency, especially over Trump. Yeah, good point, right? So, all your regular partners sit down together, turn on your Zoom thing, and discuss how you're going to play these sequences so that when they come up, you're in charge of the auction and you're not just guessing those. And look out for these things where you sneak a trick through and then run horribly. Okay, now what 7A you want? 7A, okay. Export, go to table. So it was 1 heart. Oh, I see. I've shortened the auction even on this. So 1 heart, 3 no trumps. Is that not right, Sanya? That's the essence of the auction. And the lead is the 8 of hearts, as I remember. And, well, I get it to the, to be honest, this is going down. Well, certainly with, I certainly the revealing 10 is inviting this deceptive play myself. So I'm going to claim 1 down here. So, down 1 big.